Torrential rain, landslides, and rising waters have put parts of northern Italy on high alert. A red weather warning is in place for Tuscany and Emilia-Romagna as emergency services scramble to rescue residents trapped by mudslides and floods.
L'acqua è profonda, vedi, sta travolgendo le macchine. Troppo profondo per passare.
But this isn't just another storm. It's part of a disturbing pattern of extreme weather that's becoming all too common in Italy. So, what's happening in Florence and Pisa right now? And why is Italy facing flood after flood? Let's find out.
Lo so, te dove sei?
Florence and Pisa, two of Italy's most famous cities, woke up to chaos as relentless rainfall triggered flash floods and landslides across the region. A red weather alert, the highest level, was issued for Tuscany and Emilia-Romagna, signaling the severity of the situation. By Thursday evening, rescue teams were already working through the night. In Bologna, several residents were evacuated after landslides threatened homes. The fire brigade reported dozens of calls for help as rivers swelled dangerously close to breaking point. In Badia, Italia, a family of 4 was pulled from the wreckage of their home after a landslide buried part of their house. Fortunately, they were unharmed. But the growing number of rescues paints a grim picture of the unfolding disaster. Italy has faced a string of devastating floods over the past 2 years, and experts say climate change is making the situation worse. Warmer air holds more moisture, leading to more intense rainfall events. Combined with aging infrastructure and poorly maintained flood defenses, it's a recipe for disaster.
Questo è l'Arno sotto il Ponte Vecchio. E nella direzione opposta verso la foce.
Tuscany's president warned that the worst might not be over, urging residents to remain cautious as heavy rain is expected to continue into Friday afternoon. The Arno River, which famously flooded Florence in 1966, is being closely monitored for signs of breaching. In Emilia-Romagna, which suffered catastrophic flooding in May 2023, the worst in over a century, meant residents are bracing for more damage. The region's infrastructure is still recovering from that disaster, raising concerns about how much more the region can take. Firefighters and civil protection teams are working around the clock to manage the crisis. Emergency shelters have been set up, and schools and public offices have been closed in the most vulnerable areas. Despite the quick response, many residents are angry. In Bologna, locals have criticized the government for failing to reinforce flood defenses after the 2023 floods. "We knew this could happen again, but nothing changed," one resident said. Tuscany's governor acknowledged the frustration, admitting that flood mitigation efforts have been slow due to funding issues and political disagreements. Meanwhile, the government is considering declaring a state of emergency to fast-track recovery efforts. Meteorologists warn that more rain is on the way. If the Arno River breaches its banks, Florence could face catastrophic damage reminiscent of the 1966 flood, which left the city submerged under mud and water. The question now is whether Italy can strengthen its infrastructure fast enough to withstand the increasing frequency of extreme weather. As climate change continues to disrupt weather patterns, Italy and much of Europe will face tougher challenges ahead. This isn't just about Florence or Pisa. It's about how prepared we are for a future where floods, storms, and disasters become the norm. Are governments doing enough to protect people in historic cities from the next disaster? Or are we destined to see this story play out again and again? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Si è venuto giù tutto qua, si è rotto il muro. Madonna Claudio, come ti fatti?
Dejavian giù. Chi si va?
Ora i balconcelli, e noi abbiamo il tempo per